chapter 2, it's the big secret of dealing with people. And we'll start with, I will start our discussion with a quote which Sigmund Freud said, "Everything you and I do springs from two motives. It's either the urge and the desire to be great." You get that?
Yeah.
Well, everything that we do springs from two motives. The urge to be great. Ilikuwa inafaa kuwa the urge of, it's the urge of sex or the desire to be great. Do you think this is true?
It depends, but it's one of the biggest motivators that make people do whatever they do in life.
Mm-hmm. So it's the main ones.
There's a reason why people get, let's say, jealous when maybe they think you're powerful than them or sort of successful than them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's a reason. Do you think that bullies are strong?
Not really. For me, I think they just want to prove something, or they are fighting an inner being. So they're just trying to prove to themselves something, but not necessarily that they're strong.
Yeah, like it happens with most bullies.
Mm-hmm.
They bully you because they are bullying else. So they're trying to find that. They're trying to fill some sort of gap to make themselves feel sort of powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are looking for some significance in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But then it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Today, that's good. Today we are going to do principle 2, which is give honest and sincere appreciation. And our first discussion, I want us to discuss on this point. The only way to make anybody to do anything is to make the other person want to do it by giving you what you want. Have you gotten that? The only way to make anybody to do anything is to make the other person want to do it by giving you what you want. So I think our main discussion is how can you make somebody want to do something, yet it's you who is bringing up the proposal. Like, how do you do it?
You genuinely make them feel important. There's a way employees usually do that to employers do that to employees. They usually make them think this kind of job, you're the only person who can do it. You are the only person who has the unique set of skills to do it. So the only reason we have like a good relationship with you is because I cannot afford to fire you, because at the end of the day I'll never find someone like you to do it. But sometimes it's not like they really mean it to get the job done. So they usually use that principle to some extent. They know that deep down you have that desire to feel important or significant. So they motivate you by recognizing that you have an innate ability to do something that they think nobody else can do. That's why you find that in an organization, there is that one employee who can do, let's say, customer relations tasks better than anyone else. The boss of that company would fight to make sure that this person is comfortable and will not think trying to get out of the company. At the end of the day, he'll be the one to lose. So they'll always make these employees feel important so that they may not leave the company.
Okay.
They appreciate them by giving bonuses. Yeah, that's what normally happens. They try to build as much trust as possible with them.
Isn't that manipulation?
It's not essentially manipulation. Let's assume these people do study things like public administration, or you study to be a communication expert. But at the end of the day, there are very few in becoming successful public, maybe public or communication experts. Let's say a media company, and of 3 students, one student is in a way more powerful, more has the ability to practice his prowess in such a way that that the company to have a lot of views. So at the end of the day, if the employer of that, if the owner of that media company realizes that, he'll probably make sure that the only communication expert in that company that long is this one who has the ability to bring more views to the because of their expertise. So it's not necessarily manipulation. It's a way maybe the company grow. It cannot be like essentially manipulation if the employee is willing to do whatever the employer wants because of the skills they have. It can only be manipulated if the employer does so but not sincerely. If the employer maybe approaches the employee and tells them, now I'm going to be brought on. The reason why my company is doing very well is because of your expertise in this area, and because of that, I'm going to promote you. I'm going to give you vacation holidays, such like things, because you make my company a better company. If they do a employee with such mindset, at the end of the day, it will not be manipulation. If an employer uses a different, which may be flattery, they praise you without you necessarily knowing why. They just do things to you that you don't know why they're doing so. If you find like this kind of employee just wakes up one day, then tells you that now, because of that piece of interview you did yesterday with a politician that brought a lot of use to my company, I'm going to take you to a vacation to Dubai. And you don't know really why. Like, they make you believe it's that single interview that made them want to take you to vacation as maybe appreciation. That is more of flattering, because at the end of the day, it's not essentially that single interview that we did. It is what you've been doing all along that is making maybe their company better. So if you make it genuine,
Mm-hmm.
you make it in such a way that you praise or you're based on something empty.
Mm-hmm.
It has some context in the case the employees' expertise. It'll make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like if you make it specific
Mm-hmm.
and sort of heartfelt, it's going to make a lot of sense. Because you just from nowhere, you're like, you're my best employee. You don't have the reason why you just, I think you're the best in my company, so I'm going to promote you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, since you've mentioned something flattery, we have flattery and appreciation. Uh, do you think flattery can actually be destructive?
Yes, it can be destructive.
In
I
what way?
believe the reason why we usually have a lot of issues when it comes to personal relationships,
Mm-hmm.
you find that sometimes when people are let's say, in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
they make the other party feel special because they want something from them or to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's say during things like maybe Valentine,
Mm-hmm.
they can make the other gender feel really special. Then afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
their bond is not that strong because he no longer does that.
Mm-hmm.
You need that to maybe get something from the other gender.
Mm-hmm.
We find in most, let's say, another example can be in business setup.
Mm-hmm.
In a business setup, you find that sometimes employers tend to misuse young employees, especially the interns.
Mm-hmm.
They make you do a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you do it good, they praise you. Maybe they can give you a little bit of change here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do, like, there are a lot of work that you've been given the right way,
Mm-hmm.
they'll probably not employ you. But if you do what they say and how they see it,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, they'll entice you to do more by giving you some little change hapana pale
Mm-hmm.
to make you continue doing the same. Like it's to they're using flattery for you to win your resourcefulness in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're making you you're going to all hard work, but they pay you just a little, and if you do it better, they add some more money to you, just kidogo to motivate you to continue doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, like at the end of the day, they are manipulating you. They are using you for their own good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've reminded me of an incident.
Mm-hmm.
There was once a time I was employed, and this employer, just by the fact that I was a comrade, university student, he thought that every student, they are naive and they are hungry for what we call experience. And in a way, I was naive, and later on, I came to realize that he was actually using me on the wrong way. Like, man, the kind of work that I was doing, it was far more than the pay. And later on, even that person ended up not even paying me. Like, alikuwa tu anataka like kunitumia, then like nitasema aje, aone tu anaona this is a comrade, and I was doing a good job. And funny enough, I left that business when like I'd made so many businesses for them, clients and all that. That thing really pained me either way. Like, man, the world out here is really cruel, and I hope everybody gets to know this. Like, funny enough, this person used to flatter me. Like, man, mpaka nasema venye mi ni mzuri, nasikia ameambia sijui nani, venye Beth ni mzuri. Hey, lakini siku yenye ilifika nikamwambia sasa, Mr. Guy, I need to be paid. We, hapo ndo penye unaonanga mpaka mtu anakuambia like I was actually frustrating you. Venye nilianzanga kumwambia ati I need the pay. After 3 days, akaniambia I tried frustrating you so that you may leave the job. Like, Jesus Christ. Just by me wanting to have a contract or wanting to get my pay for that month, you can actually say that to my face. Naona venye in 48 laws of power inasemanga una praise, then unadunga kidogo, then unavuta. Like, ni kama umemake a wound, unapuliza, then unaweka niitwaje, pilipili, then unapuliza. Like, I get that analogy. So it was really painful, by the way, and I really hope, najua kwa hii group kuna watu comrades wengi, get to know that people are out there, they can actually take advantage of you really bad. Like, since sisi kwanza Gen Z tuko na damu moto, people can actually take advantage of you. Hey, kwanza nikakujanga kujua tena uko we have labor laws, and those labor laws ziko actually outlined. I think one of these days tunafaa kupitia, and we have to get a lawyer on board. The labor laws ziko na like ziko stated like each employee anafaa kulipwa ngapi, and it depends to the level of your education. You get that? Like, usikuwa umefanya degree na unaenda kulipwa less than 15,000, 20,000. Huyo mtu anakutumia vibaya. Ukienda ufanye masters, haufai kulipwa less than 40,000, 50,000. Sinaona? Kuna this kind of things. Now, these people out there, they think because how to comrades wametoka tu shule, like wacha tu nimpe ka 7,000, ka 10,000, kwani anajua nini? Nah, they are so desperate. For me, I've always had this quote: don't be so unstable that you can even take crumbs. Don't be that unstable that you can actually take crumbs. Have a bargaining power. Speak for yourself. Like, mtu kama haezi deliver what you want, don't take it. Atakutumia. So flattery is one. Nilianza na kuuliza, do you think flattery is destructive? Kwangu it is kidogo, kwa sababu most of the time the other party mwenye anatumiwa huwa anaumia zaidi. So yeah. Do you have something to say in addition to that?
Flattery is not a bad. Sometimes you can do it for a good cause. Let's say you really need something like to get something done, and there's someone who is super good at that. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Nakusikia.
And there's someone who is good at, and there's someone who is good at it. maybe is not in a position to do so, and you really want it to be done like for in a short span of time.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, what you can do,
Mm-hmm.
you may use Flutter to win over the expertise who can do whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
just to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you want you want a business proposal for a presentation with investors, maybe the next day,
Mm-hmm.
and the person who usually writes the proposals in your business is in a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So because they're in a vacation, they cannot accept to maybe work, and maybe they carry their computer, and you want the business proposal for tomorrow. So what you can do, because they're in vacation,
Mm-hmm.
you can try and entice them to do the business proposal for you,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe add a day or two to their vacation,
Mm-hmm.
as a way maybe to persuade them to do the business proposal for you during a very short span of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can do something like that just to get the proposal.
Okay, let me ask. With that, is that flattery or is it appreciation? And as you answer that, also get to answer what's your take on the difference between flattery and appreciation?
Uh, for starters, appreciation is solely based on sincerity. While flattery, it's sometimes ultimately insincere.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you find that people can make you do things with an empty promise, that they can promise you great things so that you can do things for them,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of the day, they are not going to do whatever they'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a bonus,
Mm-hmm.
and they get wanted from you. They don't give you the said bonus, so at the end of the day, they have sort of manipulated you. But when it comes to appreciation,
Mm-hmm.
someone asks you to do,
Yes.
just promise you. They don't just promise maybe a bonus. You sign some sort of agreement about the bonus, that when this done, this is what I come to an agreement. So the promise is not empty. It's based on
Mm-hmm.
what I'm giving you, what you'll give me. So the main difference between flattery.
Please repeat that.
Appreciation.
Kidogo.
Oh,
Yes.
mimi anapotea, sorry. Now, bado anapotea.
Yes, yes. Like kunako kakra kuna.
Is a flat. Inapotea.
Na you're okay. Unaweza endelea.
Now, most of the time, flattery is not is manipulative in nature, in the sense that it's based on praise. They can give you sort of empty praises, empty promises, insincere compliments.
Mm-hmm.
Important based on nothing there is nothing that it's not specific enough. You're not sure what you get out of their compliments, their praises, their promises.
Mm-hmm.
There is no clear line between what you'll get for doing a job or a task for them. But with the appreciation, there's a clear benefit that you're going to get. Even it's a compliment, it's sincere in such a way that it's heartfelt. You can really feel that this someone really means whatever they say. And if it's a promise, for you to know that they really mean what they say, they can even sign some sort of contract with you, so that at the end of the day, when you get their job done, you get your promise. That's what I can say is the main difference between flattery and appreciation. It's the level of sincerity. With appreciation, the sincerity is top notch, like it's top notch higher. But with flattery, they may not be that sincere, because they just trying to massage your ego to some extent. They massage your ego, but no, there is no benefit to that with flattery. But with appreciation, they might massage maybe your ego, but at the end of the day, there's something you're going to get out of it. You're going to get a solid promise that they are going to use to appreciate you. I think that's the difference.
Okay. That's good.
Hello?
Yes, that's amazing. And do you think flattery works? Like, do you think flattery most of the time will work, or the other part will get to realize that they're just as you said, massaging their ego? Do you think somebody can actually notice?
With the flattery, the only way it works if you make the other person emotionally. If you do what I usually call emotional hijacking, like what you do, if you make the other party first emotional, they are probably going to do something irrational. They're going to do something illogical. So the moment you get them into that emotional state, it's going to be really hard for them to do what's really good for them. For example, if you get someone super excited about something they did before because you want them to do something now, they're probably going to do it because they are craving for that feeling of importance, of significance. Like they're going to feel like the more I do this, the more important I'll feel. So doesn't care what I'll get or no, they'll just do it. So with flattery, sometimes it's some sort of emotional hijacking. It's someone feeding that craving of yours of significance for their own good or for your own good. So it's entirely up to you to recognize that sort of pattern. Why is he really doing this? What am I going to get out of this? Yeah, I think that's the difference.
Okay, it reminds me of there's somebody who once said that flattery is telling the other person precisely what he thinks about himself. What do you think? Will you second this statement, or totally object? Is flattery telling the other person what he thinks of himself, or the other way around?
With the flattery, you tell them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. You tell them what they want to hear to make them like in an attempt to manipulate them. So you just tell them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. It's like let's say you meet humans usually have different opinions. Let's say you meet someone who is fairly maybe good looking. Then to make them feel better about themselves, you tell them something like, I think in this room you're the most, let's say, beautiful lady in this room. but you don't mean it because in the same room there are a number of ladies who are more beautiful than this one, or a guy is more handsome than the guy you're trying to tell is the most whatever. So like at the end of the day, what they want to hear is I'm the most beautiful, but what they really need to hear is I think you're one of the most beautiful people around in this building. So what they need what they wanted to hear is I'm the most beautiful, but what they really need to hear is you're one of the most beautiful. So there's a difference.
Okay, so there's a difference.
Hello? Yeah, there's a slight difference between the two.
Okay. So what you actually mean is flattery is quantified.
Flattery is sort of ill intentions. It's not so good.
Okay. Tell me if this is actually correct. Ama, you will object this statement. Flattery is quantified, and like quantified money, it will eventually get you in trouble if you pass it to someone else.
Pardon?
Flattery is quantified, and like quantified money, it will eventually get you in trouble if you pass it to someone else. Do you think that statement is true, or there are some objections mahali yenye tunaweza weka hapo?
I didn't quite get what is the statement about.
Okay, let me just repeat it. Flattery is quantified, and like quantified money, it will eventually get you in trouble if you pass it to someone else. Do you think flattery can actually be, let's say, like, maybe you wanted them to achieve something, but maybe inaweza kurudia and it turns against you? Do you think that that can happen, ama always the other party ndo mwenye huwa na end up kuumia peke yake?
Now, if you do flattery to an overstretch, let's say you go to an extent of lying, if there's someone you like come like to facts to realize that they lied to me so that I can do this, going to come it's going to affect you at the end of the day, because once they realize you lied, come back for you, then you can be in some sort of friction, some sort of argument because of the lie.
So what do you think this person should do? Should they just stop it and do the work themselves, or should they should they master the art of genuine appreciation? Hata kama anataka the work to be done, but let them not be manipulative.
Yeah, the only way to build lasting personal relationships is by not in any way triggering defense response people, because at the end of the day that will make them have some sort of attitude. So if you want to get anything done, it's better for you clearly appreciate or just do a simple act of honesty to the other party. If you want them to get something done, you just tell them sincerely why you want them to do this and what they are going to get out. You don't have to lie, just be sincere. We understand that maybe everyone has that desire to feel important. So if you're going to make them feel important, do that but in a sincere way. If you're offering praise, let it if you're giving a compliment, let it be genuine. Yeah, for example, sometimes like everyday life, if you genuinely appreciate someone for something they did, let's say compliment a friend for dressing proper, at the end of the day, it will reinforce in your friend. They'll continue dressing proper because you genuinely complimented them. At the end of the day, they're going to develop like a stream of that habit of getting to dressing proper because you genuinely complimented them. They'll find it as something positive, something that will bring the two of you closer, something that will make your bond stronger because they feel valued around you. So over time, this will strengthen your relationship with the person. Also, when you genuinely appreciate someone, like when you genuinely make people feel important, then the self-confidence grows in the sense that they are going to do that same activity you complimented them over and over again because they are confident about it. They are going to put extra effort to do what is right, what is positive. In a working environment, when you appreciate people, make them feel important, at the end of the day, it's going to be an atmosphere of mutual respect, understanding, and that will make people around you naturally drawn to that environment because they feel valued. And where they feel valued, they're going to ultimately be more productive, and people are going to have like strong relationships in that. And so maybe it's a company, they're going to have like stronger. If it's a personal setting, they're going to be loyal to each other, and they're going to lead a long-term success in anything they set their minds to. Yeah, so genuine appreciation at the end of the day will ultimately build strong positive interactions between humans. So it's a good thing to do if you master the craft of genuinely appreciating people.
Yeah. Okay. There's this statement that says in our interpersonal relations, we should never forget that all our associates are human beings and hunger for appreciation. It's the legal tender that all souls enjoy. It's just seconding what you've just said. Everybody desires that appreciation to be recognized, and it has reminded me of research that was done between an employee. Oh no, there was this employee who always that was it a woman. She was a cleaning lady in an office, so she was not she did not know how to do it like in the proper way. So the other employees used to condemn her, laugh at her, even just kungetembea wangoshe a bottle just to show her like you always do a shoddy work. So the employer aka notice hata alikuwa na condemn and mock and all that, but akaona like it's not working, so she opted to do it the other way around. Each time she did even like the slightest thing, angemu appreciate, and funny enough aliimprove mpaka ikafika mahali mpaka her colleagues wakaanza kumrespect, and since the employer aliweza kuonyesha like instead of mocking her, appreciate her, na make a rule, don't ever try to mock this woman. That thing will change drastically. Like, man, I don't know. Is this something that we should actually use? This is a principle, instead of ule mtu mwenye unaonanga kwa hardcore, ule mwalimu mwenye unaonanga like, man, huyo hakuna venye tutamweza, just give her a compliment. Yeah, inaweza kusaidia big time. Employer mwenye unaonanga anakujanga tu amekukasirikia na uko job, na ule mtu mwenye mnaonanga mweza nangi naye, enda tu mwambie, by the way, you smell nice. Ama, what do you think, Bruce?
Yeah, if it's maybe a compliment, just make it genuine. Like the more everyone. Yeah, you don't have anything from anyone.
Repeat that, ulikuwa umepotea.
What I'm trying to say is, you don't have to lie to get anything from anyone. Just be be you. Have a manipulative side. If you are yearning for positive relationships with the people, suppress that character of yours, ways to get like better relationships with people.
Yeah. You've reminded me of there was this, was it a podcast nilikuwa nasikiza, ilikuwa inasema, if you want to have a relationship, or if you want to sell to these rich people, most of them are used to people trying to get something out of them. So instead of actually bringing forth what you want, before doing that, why don't you try to have a relationship with them, then baadaye ulete ni kama tu ni a proposal of you trying to help them. You get that? Like, tunaendanga to this networking inaitwa nini, events, and most of the people wanatakanga ni kama ni tumekuja tu kuuza. And I came to realize that people hate being sold anything, but they love to buy. They hate that feeling that you want to sell me something. So, and since these people wamezoea like kila mtu ananitegemea, nikienda ushago wanaona mimi tu ni kama mimi ndio like money making machine, why don't you try creating that relationship with them? Then with that, now you can get anything you want, but have a genuine relationship. Tukienda networking events, wacha kwenda tu with main agenda, ninafaa kuuza, I'm supposed to get, like, baby girl, baby boy, cool up. Nobody cares. People care about themselves. Just try to have relationship. That's the main thing. Like, networking is having relationships with people, not just transactional relationships. I don't know. What's your take?
The only way to get assistance or anything from anyone, give them the ideology of this something they are really going to get out of it. If there's some sort of mutual benefit between like that connects the two of you. Like, they're not just going to do this for you. It also has some benefit for them. So establish that mutual benefit between that shared activity.
Okay.
Yeah, don't just tell them to do things for the sake of doing it.
So this point nataka we have a debate about it. Nasema try living a friendly traits of little sparks of gratitude on your daily trips. You will be surprised how they will set flames of friendship that will rose beacons on you on your next visit. The main question out of this, how do we set the positive uh, flames? That's one. And unajua saizi in this world it's so cruel. Unadhaningi umekuwa mzuri, then people wana end up like taking you for granted or mistreating you. So how do we set that boundary of one, don't dare mistreat me, and actually leaving that positive flame in people's lives? How do we get to balance the two?
Balance the two.
Yes.
Now, there's something I like to call maybe principle of brutal honesty. What you do, you do interactions, you clearly state your boundaries about principles, values, and everything in between. For you not to get hurt when it comes to making people like feel valued. You can do with honesty. You can just give simple, genuine compliment about maybe their thoughts, how they look. Just whatever you do in maybe making people feel valued, just do it honestly, and for you not to get disrespect. Establish boundaries. Explain to them as much as this is who you are. As for me, when we interact, if you use, I'll get offended. If you do that, I'll get offended. So for us to have a better relationship, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. So you establish clear boundaries and you give them a reason why. The reason why I don't want to do these very activities, because if you do it, I'll get offended. You can use that. You can just be brutally honest in everything you do. Just be brutally honest about who you really are and why you're making the other party feel important.
Okay. So let them, tunasemanga, as much as they know the angel in you, don't forget to show them the demon inside of you so that they may not awaken it.
Yes. Yeah, don't come weakling. Don't come out as a weakling, someone that can be swayed. Stand your ground in everything you do. Don't be a walkover. Just allow people to do whatever they want to you for the sake of association, for the sake of friendship. Just stand your ground. Don't allow any disrespect or any form of manipulation in the name of, if I do that, we'll probably still be friends, but if I don't do what they want, they'll probably cut me off. Let them cut you off, but at the end of the day, your mental health, you're the first priority. You are your first priority before anything else. Yeah.
Okay. In our last discussion point, naona Masai imekimbia man. So inasema hurting people not only hurting people not only does it not change them, but it's never called for. Naget? Nimejirudia. Hurting people doesn't change them, but it's never called for. Are you in support of this?
Yes.
Why?
Now, if you hurt people, what you're doing, you're going to let them bring their guard up, bring the defense mechanism up. And what defense look like in let's say an emotional context? They'll start criticizing, they'll resent you, and you're probably going to experience where
Rudy, that will
to an extent even start developing, let's say, feelings of hate. Hello?
Rudi hapo ati they are going to experience. Rudi nyuma kidogo, umepotea.
Now, if actually, what were we talking about? Umenichanganya.
Oh, nilikuwa nasema like ulikuwa unaongea about trying to hurt them. You will make them will cause them to be defensive. So kuna mali penye hapo ulikuwa umekatika, sasa ndio nilikuwa nakuambia urudi nyuma kidogo. I'm sorry for that.
Now, when you hurt people, the only way for them not to deal with you in any other time when maybe you meet or something is by them their guard up, by them letting their defensive mechanism tactics, like they're going to use their defense mechanism on you. And how does defense mechanism looks like in an emotional context? They're going to resent you, they're going to develop negative criticisms towards you, they're going to develop feelings of hate towards you, so that they not deal with you. For them to get that feeling of I'm no longer going to deal with this person, because at the end of the day I don't even like them, I hate them, in fact I resent them, so why should I deal with them? They just remove the why between your relationship and theirs, so they no longer have that urge to be around you, because at the end of the day you don't make them feel important. As a matter of fact, make them feel insignificant, and no one likes feeling insignificant around anyone. If you make people feel insignificant, they'll probably resent you, because you are making them feel less human. So they'll probably never have a good relationship with you. Feel like you are demeaning them. Yeah. So those are my thoughts about it.
Wow, that's good. And our discussion today, I think imekuwa poa. I don't know, kwangu mimi naona imekuwa poa. Like honestly for me I've learned a lot. Kwanza flattery na appreciation kidogo. It's something that we really need to like be aware of, and know that people are out here, they are very cruel, but still don't be part of the cruel people. Be the positive person in the society. Like watu wote waki generalize watu waseme lakini Bruce huwezi mweka hapo. You get that? Parting shots is we are winding up.
What I can say about flattery and genuine appreciation, leave the flattery to the people with ill intentions. Flattery are for politicians who usually do the emotional hijacking thing to make you vote for them or something. Just be genuine. Flattery is for people who don't want to create a lasting positive relationship with the other party. Like in this context, what the politicians usually do during the election period, they make you feel important temporarily so that you can vote. Afterwards, they want nothing to do with you. Yes, so just flattery, not a good thing unless it's absolutely necessary for you to use it, but in a constructive way. Yes.
Sawa. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. For me, my parting shot is, let's cease thinking of our accomplishments, our wants. Let's try to figure out the other person's good points. Then forget flattery. Give honest, sincere appreciation. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. And people will cherish your words and treasure them and repeat them over a lifetime. Repeat them years after you have forgotten them. Let me repeat that. Let's cease thinking of our accomplishments, our wants. Let's try to figure out the other person's good points. Then forget flattery. Give honest, sincere appreciation. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. And people will cherish your words and treasure them and repeat them over a lifetime. Repeat the years after you have forgotten them. And I'll finish up with a quote. It says, this is Emerson who said this: every man I meet is my superior in some way, and in that I learn of him, or I learn from him. So have an open mind. What you have somebody else doesn't. At the same time, pia huyu mtu kuna kitu yenye ako nayo yenye wewe hauna. So kuwa humble. Yes. So, thank you, Mr. Bruce, for your time. And
stay humble.
Yeah, stay humble. Kiburi huku itakupeleka kaburini.
Yeah, stay humble.
Sawa. Yeah. Sawa. Thank you, Mr. Bruce, for your time. Tupatane jioni.
Okay, fine. Thank you too. Bye.
Bye. Have a lovely day. When you mtasikiza this, hope you've learned a lot, and let's meet in the evening for a further and greater discussion. We are going to be discussing principle 3. That's chapter 3 of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Have a lovely day. See you in the evening.